Immortal. Because we drink the true blood.
Charlaine Harris's novel series, The Southern Vampire Mystery, gained a whole new fan base after Alan Ball adapted to a television series called True Blood for HBO. The fantasy show introduced us to a whole slew of characters. Let's list them all today, based on what we think are the scariest creatures. But you know what to do before we begin. Make sure you have rung the bell seen below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, let's dive right in.
I'll fuck you, and then I'll eat you.
Vampires. Vampires obviously take the center stage in True Blood, as in this universe. Vampires have existed for a long time without the knowledge of humans, and have decided to come out of their hiding after the introduction of True Blood, artificially created synthetic blood. Vampires have existed along with humans since the beginning of time, as God created the first vampire, Lilith, around the same time he created Adam and Eve. Lilith is known as the progenitor, as she started the vampire race. You might already know, vampires drink blood to survive, but they aren't really affected by the crucifixes, holy places, holy water, and mirrors like you would have thought. They made all these rumors up to protect themselves from being found out. For example, if a human suspects them of being a vampire, they can stand in front of a mirror and prove to themselves that they are not. But that does not mean that these vampires have no weaknesses at all. They are burned by the slightest touch of silver and wood, and can be affected by sunlight, garlic, and viruses that spread via blood. Glamoring, a power through which vampires can induce a trance-like state in humans, has also helped vampires stay hidden for so long. A vampire can create another vampire by draining a human of most of their blood and replacing part of vampire. They both then go to sleep in the ground, after which a new vampire will arise with their maker. Makers have a lot of hold on their project and can call them or command through their empathic link. Bill Compton, Eric Northman, and Tara Thornton are some examples of vampires.
It's nice to see a face from the old pack. I figure the new wolves are drinking enough for all of us.
Werewolves. We don't know when or how werewolves came into existence, but unlike vampires, they are mortal, and in their human form, you can barely tell them apart from human. One distinguishable fact is that they are slightly warmer than human. They have the same needs and weaknesses as humans, except for their ability to turn into wolves at will. They lose this ability on full moon nights, when they are forced to convert into wolves, whether they like it or not. Werewolves usually stay and hunt in pack, which are led by a strong leader called a packmaster. But there are some wolves who prefer their privacy and stay away from pack. They are called lone wolves, or omega wolves. Werewolves are territorial animals, so if you are a new werewolf in town, better register yourself with the local packmaster if you don't want angry werewolves at your door. In their wolf form, werewolves are incredibly strong, have keen senses, and are very agile. Werewolves are created through normal reproduction, and the ability to be a werewolf is inherited from one or both parents. You have no way of knowing whether you are a werewolf until you finish your childhood, as the process of conversion occurs randomly in your youth. Some examples of werewolves are Alcide Herveau, Ricky Naylor, and Debbie Pelt.
Bill, she's casting a spell.
Demoness!
Witches. Human beings who can wield the supernatural powers of nature are called witches. Many witches believe that witchcraft is older than vampirism, and they have been at odds with vampires since the dawn of time. But their first true conflict began in the 1600s. During the Spanish Inquisition, when witches were being hunted down by the Catholic Church, some vampires infiltrated the church and began to torture and feed on the witches until they arrested the powerful witch, Antonia Gavilon de la Grotto. Antonia cast a spell that forced vampires near her to expose themselves to the sun. Due to this, vampires had pledged to get rid of all witches and spread rumors about witchcraft and demonized it. But as the number of witches dwindled, their feud too began to disappear, and at the time of True Blood, witches practiced magic without the fear of being targeted. Witches have a lot of powers like telekinesis, mind control, manipulation, astral projection, and levitation. With enough practice, and look to the past and the future. Despite all these powers, they are mortal and suffer due to disease and death. Like all humans do, they can retain their powers in the afterlife. Some known witches are Holly Cleary, Jesus Velasquez, and May Hellerman.
I hereby banish you to the realms and beyond.
Fairies. Fairies are a species of humanoid creatures that live in the dimensional plane of fairy. They used to live on Earth, but as the population of vampires grew, fairies feared for their lives and created a dimension just for themselves. Fear was well founded as vampires nearly hunted them to extinction. These supernaturally strong creatures appear extremely attractive, glossy skin, pointy ears. But that's just a disguise, and in reality, they are short and not that beautiful. Vampires and humans are all attracted to fairies. Blood is especially intoxicating to vampires. By drinking fairy blood, vampires gain immunity against sunlight, staking, fairy magic, Since fairies are very secretive creatures, we do not know much about their history, customs, or traditions. These creatures live longer than humans as they grow older, stronger. They can read the minds of humans. They can also cast illusions and manipulate large beams of light. Queen Mab, Morella, Leda, and Claudine are some fairies you can find in True Blood. Halflings. When a fairy breeds with a human, the resulting offspring is called a halfling. Halflings do not have all the powers that fairies, and excessive use of their powers can drain them. They too can read light beam. Every halfling has a fairy godparent to protect them and help them navigate life. They are attractive, and their blood is enticing to vampires, but vampires do not gain all the benefits they do by drinking fairy blood. Queen Mab, Queen of Fairies, feared that the vampires would kill all halflings too, and wanted them to move to the dimensional world of fairy. So she asked all fairy godparents to call their charge to their dimension and fed them a Lumiere fruit. The fruit made sure that the halflings never left. They would decay and die if they stepped outside. Sookie Stack, Charlaine Bellafleur, and Barry Horowitz are some examples of halflings. Shapeshifters, commonly called shifters, are human beings who can take on the shape of any creature they want to. Werewolves and Panther are also included in this umbrella term. Shapeshifters usually have to imprint the animal whose form they have to take, process through which they observe every single detail of the creature. Once they have successfully imprinted, they can change into the animal whenever they want to. Shapeshifters usually have one animal that they find easy to shift into. This is called their go-to shift. Sometimes the characteristics of a shapeshifter's go-to shift remain in their human form. For example, the go-to shift of Sam Merlot is a collie. Because in his human form, he has a heightened sense of smell, sometimes barking to take on the guise of a human or any human. The shapeshifters need to kill the humanoid, and even then, the process is extremely taxing. They usually keep their powers a secret to not scare humans, since they don't have any powers of immortality or longevity and are basically indistinguishable from humans. It is easier for them to keep their secret. Emery Broom, Suzanne McKittrick, and Melinda Micken are all shapeshifters. Skinwalkers. Shapeshifters who can take on the form of other human beings are called skinwalkers. Skinwalkers can also imitate vampires, but they cannot duplicate their fang. Like other shapeshifters, they can convert into animals as well, as it is only possible to take on the form of a human after killing them. All skinwalkers have blood on their hands. A notable exception to this rule is Luna Garza's mother died in childbirth, which technically meant that Luna killed her. She got her skinwalking power. Skinwalkers can't stay in the form of other humans long, as they start experiencing unpleasant side effects. They might start throwing up blood, faint, and get a high fever. It might also eventually lead to the death of the skinwalker. Ghosts. Dead people do not often stay dead. Their spirits return to roam the earth to take care of unfinished business. Human beings are not the only creatures who can return as disembodied spirits, as any sentient being can become a ghost. Necromancers can also summon ghosts or powers. Prominent ghost in the series was the witch Antonia, who had remained on Earth because of her unfathomable rage against the vampires. Ghosts can exorcise other ghosts and can teleport wherever they want to. They are invisible but can choose to be seen. By possessing a human, they can control his mind and body, also take on the form of any object, person, or creature. But they usually opt to resemble their living self. Some ghosts you can see on the True Blood are Eddie Fournier, Fira, and Marnie Stonebrook. Deities. Deities are divine entities that are the oldest form of being. They are incredibly powerful, but not much is known about their origins. However, it is believed that they existed before the creation of the universe. We know it, and will exist long after it goes kaput. We don't know what they look like. They are usually depicted in the form of human. They are considered superior to human in every conceivable way, and are immortal. In True Blood, we see three main deities: God, Dionysus, and the moon goddess. According to Abrahamic religions, God is the supreme creator of the universe, responsible for creating every single creature. He is extremely powerful and is usually depicted as male. He is worshipped by both humans and vampires. Dionysus, the horned god, is a chaotic deity from Greco-Roman religion who serves as the god of wine, fertility, frenzy, religious ecstasy, resurrection, and festivals. Followers of Judeo-Christian faith consider him the devil or Satan. He is known by a lot of other names: Bacchus, Dendrite, Anorchus, Bromios. The moon goddess is the supreme deity of the Wiccans, and she is worshipped as a triple goddess. They believe she is the crone, the mother, and the maiden. Many witches consider her as the one true god. It is also believed that the moon goddess is a spirit of nature who is intertwined with the fabric of the universe, who is amidst the web of all life forces. Maenads are immortal women who serve Dionysus as handmaidens. We don't know their actual origin, but some claim that they existed even before ancient Greece. Some theories also claim that they were all once human before being employed by Dionysus. The only known Maenad in True Blood is Mary Ann Forrester. Maenads strive to welcome Dionysus onto Earth. To accomplish this mission, they must first find the perfect vessel. After sacrificing him or her, consuming the flesh of the vessel while surrounded by their familiars, They believe that Dionysus would come to them. Maenads look exactly like humans, but they have pitch-black blood. Their hands can transform into poisonous claws with 3 talons. With accelerated healing, Maenads are basically immortal as long as their supernatural belief in God is strong. As soon as they stop, become vulnerable to external forces. Demons are dark supernatural spirits that reside in an unknown dimension. In novels, it is mentioned that they are Fae, counterpart of the Fairies, but True Blood leaves it out. Demons are summoned by witches, who wish to strengthen their powers. Usually, they are obedient towards the person who called them, but as they are cruel, vindictive, and evil by nature, it's never a good idea to tangle with demons. Their malicious nature makes them hard to control, and their supernatural strength overpowers even the strongest of the vampire. Demons are immortal and have the power to create and control fire. Medium. After the entire life force of a human or animal is extinguished in our world, their spirits move on to a world beyond the corporeal realm. Medium is a person who can contact this world and speak to the spirits there. Most common power of the ability to sense spirit. Medium worth his salt can communicate with the spirits. Truly powerful medium can channel spirits using his body and tap into their supernatural power. It takes lots of practice to become a powerful medium. Without proper spirits can forcefully take over the body and mind of a medium. Most mediums hence also practice witchcraft to make sure that they have good defense against malevolent spirits. Mediumship is often inherited, although there is no guarantee that you will be a medium if your mom or dad was one. In the show, Marnie Stonebrook, Lafayette Reynolds, and Mikey Bellafleur are medium. Were Panthers are shapeshifters who can take on the form of panthers whenever they wish to. Just like werewolves, they are affected by full moon night. According to Panther mythology, long ago, panthers ruled all the animals and were worshipped by human beings. But sky people arrived and poisoned the minds of humans against all of nature. The only 2 people who remained loyal to the panther were Ghost Daddy and Ghost Mama. The duo went to the leader of the panthers on a full moon night and told him that they wanted to be panthers. So the leader ate them up and regurgitated them. While in the panther's stomach, Ghost Mama and Ghost Daddy absorbed the powers of the panthers, became the first werepanthers. Due to some unknown reason, werepanthers became endangered. Only one family remained to protect their species. Again, which, as you might have guessed, did not go very well and resulted in weak, feeble-minded werepanthers who were afflicted with congenital diseases. If you're a fan of the show, you might recognize Timbo, Luther, and Becky as werepanthers. Ephrit. Efrits are strong and cunning jinns, found in Arabic and Islamic cultures and folklore. They are gigantic creatures with huge wings, and they usually live in abandoned buildings, ruins, and underground structures. No mortal weapon can cause any damage to an Ephrit. Magic is required to take them down. They are both evil and good Efrits, but they are mostly depicted as nefarious creatures, like all jinns. They are made of smokeless fire, rarely visible to humans. Jinns are social creatures and have their own courts, traditions, and ritual, like weddings and funerals. Efrits, as they are, but jinn can take on any form. There are also beliefs that claim that jinns work with magicians and help them put on elaborate shows. Dwarfs are another supernatural race of beings that are short and humanoid. There's only one dwarf in the show, Dr. Patricia Ludwig, a fearless doctor who specializes in supernatural creature health and treats vampires, werewolves, and all sorts of scary creatures. Since there is only one dwarf in True Blood, we don't know much about them. What we do know is that dwarves and fairies were not on the best of terms, as fairies had attacked and killed a lot of dwarves in the past. Perhaps dwarves, too, have figured out a way to create their own dimension and have retreated to their safe haven. But that is just our speculation. Fairy, vampire. As we already told you while discussing fairies, fairy blood is extremely delicious to vampires. The taste of fairy blood is so incredible, it is impossible for vampires to stop till they have had the last drop. Because of this reason, it is nearly impossible for vampires to exercise self-control and convert a fairy into a vampire. Besides, many vampires of the modern day don't even know fairies exist. Most of them had fled our realm. There is only one known fairy vampire hybrid, and his name is Warlow. If you were wondering which vampire has such great self-restraint, it's none other than Lilith, the progenitor herself. Warlow is a mysterious fairy vampire, and all we know about him is that he was responsible for the downfall of Lilith. As fairy blood runs in, Warlow is immune like the sun, Silver. He has all the powers of a vampire and a fairy, making him truly formidable. Marvelous verdict. These were all the supernatural creatures you can find on True Blood. Which creature would you not mind waking up as? We would like to wake up as a vampire. Let us know your preference in the comments below. If you like this video, please share it with your friend and leave us a thumbs up. See you soon with yet another video. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good and be safe. Thanks, everyone.